Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope each and every one of you had a absolutely wonderful day. I know we're in some crazy tough times right now, but we got to make the best of it. So, I got a little stimulus package update for you guys, but it's not going to be your average stimulus package update from like Meet Kevin or Clearview Tax. I'm going to do a little something different. I'm going to show you guys who these people are that are keeping the money from the American citizens. All right. Before I get started on that, do me a favor. Just getting started out here on YouTube, as you can tell. Trying to grow my channel a little bit. Like I said, the world's gone crazy. We're in tough times. I got a lot to bring to you guys. Just like the sign above me says, there are two types of people in the world, subscribed and unsubscribed. Hit that subscribe button. Join me on this journey. I got a goal of hitting 100 subscribers by Christmas. I can only do it with the help of you guys. So hit that subscribe button. All right, in this video here, isn't about Republicans, Democrats, anything like that, okay? This is about the people. I'm not standing up for anyone in this video. Let me put it that way. This is about the people that, in my honest opinion, don't care about me. They don't care about you. They don't care about anyone in this country. They only care about themselves. And I honestly, firmly believe that. I'm not just saying that because I'm ticked off about this whole thing. I honestly believe these people do not care. All right? So here we have Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. She's a Democrat. And we have Mitch McConnell, what Senate Majority Leader, I believe he is, Mitch McConnell. He's a Republican. Now, these two dinosaurs are your typical swamp, Washington swamp politicians. Ancient career politicians who have made a living with lobbyists just piling money into them, sucking the taxpayers of America dry, and really doing nothing to give back, creating hard times. So let's find out about these people. So before we talk about these two specifically, talk about stimulus real quick and what's going on. What's going on with stimulus updates? There is no update. There's no update. Mitch McConnell the other day had a meeting with his people to discuss a strategy for discussions. That's literally what they did. They had a meeting to discuss a strategy to go in to this stimulus package discussions with Pelosi and her little band of followers. Isn't that interesting? And then you know what happened after that? Nothing. Nothing at all. They, after the meeting, nothing. They went home. They went on their little break. One of their recesses they get. How many recesses do they get? They're always on recess. So there's nothing going on with stimulus updates. They're not having any meetings. They're not talking about it. These people are getting so much pressure from everybody. Political analysts. Even as much as I dislike AOC, she stood up and I don't know if it was in front of Congress or who she stood up in front of. It rattled off this about 8-minute speech that was just basically blasting these people for not getting a stimulus package out to us. So props to AOC. Listen, I'll give props where props is due. I don't care if I'm a fan or not. Props to AOC for doing that. So frustrating. So there's nothing going on with stimulus. But I'll tell you what's going on without stimulus. Without stimulus, this is what's happening. COVID and congressional inaction expiring at the end of the year on these programs. So the emergency, okay, so we had the stimulus package that we got back, what was it, back in March or I think in March or May, where they gave us that $1,200, gave us some table scraps, here's your $1,200 to go away and be quiet. They did put on a good unemployment extension of $600 to people's unemployment. So a lot of people were doing okay with that. They had a lot of good things in that package that they gave to people. And listen, I'm not for socialism. I'm not for the government handouts or anything like that. What I am for is when we get hit with a pandemic and these people force us to close our businesses, they force us to close schools, they force us to not go to work, they force us to stay home so we can make money on our own. That's when I say the government needs to step in, just like all these other countries have. I mean, I think Canada's given their people $2,000 a month during a pandemic. I'm not 100% sure on that. There's a lot of countries that are giving their citizens money to stay home. So if you're not going to let us go to work and run our businesses, then you're going to have to pay the piper. If you don't want to pay the piper, then open up. It's that simple. You can't. It's one or the other. You can't have both. You can't, and that's what they're doing. So I thought this first package was great. They gave everybody $1,200, which, like I said, was table scraps, but it helped. The emergency unemployment, they extended that. They had some small business loans. They had the they had some really good programs in this, and I think it worked out pretty well. If they had followed it up within another, 3 or 4 months, not 8 months later, and still no end in sight to the pandemic, it's getting worse again. The lockdowns are coming back again, and they're not even close to coming to an agreement. All right, so this is frustrating. Emergency unemployment relief, eviction moratorium. So we're looking at an eviction crisis like this country has never seen, ever. This eviction moratorium, you can bet there's people out there that haven't paid their rent for quite a while that can't, not by any choice, they just can't. And these landlords, it's not the landlord's fault they can't pay rent. The landlords have bills to pay too. But you can't get evicted at this time. So once that eviction moratorium runs out, boom, all those people are on the street. No fault of their own. So we'll get the eviction moratorium, the 2020 rebate checks, student loan forbearance, small business debt relief, paid sick leave tax credit, payroll tax deferral, and 33 various tax provisions. Expire in December 26th to right around December 26th right to the end of the year. I think the unemployment relief ends December 26th, and then the rest go to the end of the year. So that's that. That's the end of it. The money runs out. The eviction moratorium runs out. And the American people get screwed once again. So listen, as I said, I'm not as big on social. I love capitalism. If you want something, go get it. Whether it's you want to work hard and break your back, or you want to work hard and start something online. If you want to work smart, you want to work hard. Whatever you want to do, you can go get it in this country. That's the great thing about America. I love America. I love what this country stands for. I'm not one of these people like these people that burn the flag, that hate the country, that hate capitalism, that think, they want to eat the rich and all this crazy. No, I'm not about that at all. I'm not. But when your government forces you to stay home, forces your business closed, allows rioting that destroys your businesses, and they just stand back and do nothing, our government has failed us. They have 100% failed us. Now, with the BLM and Antifa rioting, I don't agree with any of that at all. I don't even agree with it a little bit. I think it's all a false narrative that's being played out. However, if people took to the streets and they are, people are in the streets, they're fed up with the lockdowns, they're fed up with not having any money or food. And I think that was a big thing that had to do with these riots and protests in the first place, was people were fed up. And it's getting worse. There's a powder keg brewing right now, and it's about to go off. People are tired of the lockdowns. People are tired of the rules for thee and not for me. You got Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, Beetlejuice. I mean, Lori Lightfoot, the governor of New Jersey, the governor of governor of Colorado, the mayor of Denver, or something. These people, Andrew Cuomo, these people have all been caught out. Bill de Blasio, Mayor de Blasio, New York, caught out doing exactly what they say we can't do. We can't. You guys can't go out and do this, but we can. You guys have to stay home, and you can't work, and you can't make money. Like, Is there something a little deeper going on here? I'm not going to get into that. I digress. People are fed up. And listen, like I said, I don't stand for the BLM riots, the Antifa riots. But if people have had enough because their livelihoods are being stripped away from them and they took to the streets, so be it. It's the government's fault. In my opinion, it's 100% the government's fault. And I don't, I'm not saying that. There's got to be a way for us to stop this. There's got to be a way. I don't understand how you people in California reelected Nancy Pelosi. I don't understand how you guys haven't gotten her and Gavin Newsom out of politics in there. I know they're trying to do some recall thing on Newsom right now. How did Pelosi get to be Speaker of the House again? That's crazy to me. How did these dinosaurs stay in politics? That's bizarre. All right. So I went off on a little tangent there. Um, you know what? If no stimulus package gets passed, these people don't care because it doesn't affect them at all. Senate Majority and Minority Leaders, in this case, Mitch McConnell, Republican Kentucky, and Chuck Schumer, Democrat New York, as well as the President pro tempore Chuck Grassley, Republican Iowa, earn $193,400 per year. Did you hear that? Almost $200,000 a year. Members of Congress do not receive salaries beyond their terms of office. Okay. Relative to the general public, senators earn a fairly generous salary. The median income for a 60-year-old, the average age of a U.S. Senator is 61, is about 54,000. Okay. So these guys, these people that are in charge of these talks, Schumer and McConnell, $193,000 a year. And that's not top all the other money they make, their swamp style with the lobbyists and stuff. That's not on top of that. So these guys are making this money regardless. All right? Now, Nancy Pelosi, listen, and I'm not going to involve Donald Trump in this because his hands are tied. He's come out several times and said, put a bill in front of me for stimulus checks, I'll sign it. He did those executive orders back a few months ago where he got extra money to people's unemployment. He got extra money for 4 different executive orders. He made it work. He can't do any. This isn't up to Trump. Just can't say, "Yeah, I'm going to pass the stimulus package." He can't. So he's out of this conversation. He tried. He did what he could. I honestly believe he did what he could. And he said, "If they put a bill in front of me, I'm going to sign it." They wouldn't do it. And I think Mitch McConnell and these other swamp creatures are just as guilty as Nancy Pelosi. Now let's get to Pelosi. This lady, to me, is the epitome of evil. This lady, she's a bad, bad woman, and she is in charge.
Want a deal because so many people right now
well,
are
the problem
suffering.
solvers, by the way, don't have any earned income tax credit or child tax credit in their proposal either. But let's not go into that.
Yeah,
You
we've gone
evidently
through
do
that.
not respect the chairman of the committees who wrote these bills.
I respect
and
all
I
of
wish
you.
you would respect the knowledge that goes into getting meeting the needs of the American people. But again, you've been on a jag defending the administration all this time with no knowledge of the difference between our two bills. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that to you in person.
All right, Madam Speaker, these are incredibly difficult times right now, and we'll leave it on that note. Thank you so much for joining
we'll
us.
leave it on the vote that you are not right on this, Wolf, and I hate to say that to you. But I feel confident about it, and I feel confident about my colleagues, and I feel confidence in my chairs.
It's not about me. It's about millions of Americans who can't put food on the table, who can't pay the rent,
and
we
represent them. And we represent them.
Getting by
we represent
these
them.
long food
and
lines
we represent
that we're seeing.
them.
I know
we
you
know
are.
them.
I'm just saying.
We represent them, and we know them.
As we
We
say,
know them. We represent them.
Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, as they say
It is
here in
nowhere
Washington.
near perfect.
Madam Speaker.
Always the case, but we're not even close to the good.
All right, let's see what happens, because every day is critically, critically important.
So that was a couple months ago, Nancy Pelosi saying, "We know them, we feed them, we feed them." There was a part, we feed them. This lady's out of her goddamn mind, all right? She doesn't care. She is so far out of touch with reality. Let's talk about Nancy Pelosi for a minute. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, net worth estimated $50 to $72 million, and I think it's more than that. Her husband's a multimillionaire. She'll reap nearly $150,967 a year in public pension and Social Security benefits at retirement. In addition, Pelosi could cash out an estimated $1 million lump sum through a federal savings account, and that's just a portion of the account that was taxpayer funded. Our auditors calculated that Speaker Nancy Pelosi earned $5.7 million in salary to date during her 34-year congressional career. Pelosi's salary ranged from $77,400 in 1987 to today's. So this is what Nancy Pelosi makes: $223,500 as the most highly compensated member of Congress. This lady, she is the driving force that's stopping us from getting. Listen, like I said, I'm not a fan of Mitch McConnell, but if the Republicans don't meet, this was a whole political thing for her. She did not. I would guarantee she did not pass a bill before the election because she did not want Donald Trump to look good. That's it. The Problem Solvers Caucus came up with a good deal. They gave her a good deal. They were a little below the 2.4 trillion or whatever she wanted. They were like Republicans came at her with 1.9 trillion, something close. She kept rejecting it because she didn't want to pass a deal to make. Listen, this lady has such bad Trump derangements in her. She hates Donald Trump so bad that it was fine for her not to pass a deal before the election. She didn't want to make Trump look good because it affected her zero. Zero, because look what happened. She's still the Speaker of the House. She's still making $223,000 a year. It doesn't affect her. So in her eyes, it's a victory for her over Trump. Because if a stimulus package got passed before the election, that would have made Trump look great, and it probably would have got him a little closer to the election. Yeah. All right, taxpayers also invested $282,965 in the Pelosi's federal thrift savings plan, an amount that equals 5% of salary as long as members also contribute 5% of earnings. We estimate those taxpayer dollars grew to 1.3 million invested in the S&P 500 index as of 12/31/2019. On top of all this, if Pelosi retired after the November election, so this was a while ago. We pegged her pension and annuity package at $153,967 annually. That's for retirement. That's when this old dinosaur retires. That's what she's going to make after she retires. So this is all really disgusting, and I can't read. And it also goes over a Mitch McConnell estimated net worth of $22 million. So this dinosaur lifetime swamp politician as well has an estimated net worth of $22 million. And he didn't make that on his salary. Of course, that's with, the lobbyists and all the other swampy, just corrupt politician things that they do. So ask yourself, why would these people care about people getting evicted? Why would these people care about losing their other people's jobs, businesses being closed? Why would these people care? They're not losing a dime from their salaries. It makes no difference to them. It's crystal clear. Look at the money these people make for doing nothing. They do nothing. They've been arguing for the past 8 months about how much to help the people. And apparently now half the Republicans don't think that they should do another stimulus package. It's okay to close the country down. They don't think they should do another one. And I'll say it again. I'm not about socialism. I'm not for government handouts. But you can't have both. You can't say, okay, the Kung flu is ripping through this country, so we got to shut everything down. You can't go to work. You got to stay home. We got to stop the spread again. But you're going to have to figure out your own way to survive. This is all just super, super angering. And listen, if people erupt in the streets and just rage and anger after the end of the December and the start of the new year because they're just broke, they have no food, they've been kicked out of their homes, cool. I'm cool with it. So far as I see right now, our government has completely failed us. The government of the American people has failed us. These people are an absolute joke. It's an absolute travesty that we have people continue to vote these swamp creatures into office. I don't know how it happens. It blows my mind that the people of California would want anyone like Pelosi running. It makes sense. San Francisco's turned into a dumpster fire, as is all of California with Gavin Newsom running it and Garcetti of Los Angeles. So I guess what the people there, that's what the people there deserve. I don't know. They keep electing these same people into office, but it's just disgusting. So if the people protest and it gets a little out of hand, I'm cool with that. Just because this is a tragedy. These people can't decide. Like, if Mitch McConnell said, "Yeah, here we got a bill for 1.5 trillion," and Nancy Pelosi said, "Yeah, let's just get the people stimulus checks. Let's just get extensions on unemployment. Let's just start make sure no one gets evicted." It would be done. Yeah, it could be done. Listen, it could be done in a week. They could have checks coming out in 2 weeks. It's really, once they agree on something, it's that simple. They can't agree how much they want to help the American people with. Donald Trump said numerous times, put something in front of me, I'll sign it and get it out. Stimulus checks, cool. Unemployment benefits, cool. Let's just get something done. They can't decide how much they want to help the American people. Yet our taxpayer money is making these people millionaires, and we continue to do it. So whose fault is it in the long run? Is it ours? I mean, we're the ones that are paying them, and we keep reelecting them. So that is my stimulus rant for Thanksgiving. Didn't mean to bring anybody down, but I just saw some things on the stimulus today, and it is super, super frustrating. I wish I could sit down in front of these two people and just talk to them for 5 minutes, because they're so far out of touch with with the American people. They're so far out of touch with reality and what goes on in the everyday life of Americans that aren't multimillionaires like them in their bubble, that they just don't have a clue. So, listen, I'm going to end this now. Um, there's no stimulus updates. There's no discussions. There's a lot of people calling for stimulus and saying, get something done. Enough's enough. Just agree on something and get something out to these people, and then we'll figure something else later when we figure out who the real president is. They can't. They can't do it. So I don't know. I hope you guys all stay safe out there and do the best you can right now. Times are tough. I mean, do what you got to do to survive. I don't know what else to say. Um, we're not the ones that closed our own businesses. We're not the ones that had to stop going to work. It wasn't our fault. It wasn't our fault. If you had to close your business down and you're having trouble feeding your kids or your family, do what you got to do to feed them. It's not your fault. Just stay strong. We're going to get through this, everybody. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. Stay blessed. Like I said, hit the subscribe button. Help me grow my channel. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think about these two. And like I said, this isn't a video about Democrats, Republicans, anything like that. This is a video about these lifetime swamp creature politicians in Washington, D.C. Let me know what you guys think. Listen, stay blessed out there. Just be kind to each other. Be kind to yourselves. Till next time. Peace.